Autumn in Boston is a beautiful season with colorful trees swaying in the wind. However, for Diana Clark, this year's fall appeared faded. She stood by the window, watching maple leaves dance to the ground, and let out a deep sigh. "Mom, is breakfast ready?" Lily's sweet voice brought Diana back to reality. As she headed to the kitchen, she spoke in a cheerful tone. "Almost done, Lily. It's your favorite blueberry pancakes." Looking at her daughter waiting at the dining table, Diana's heart warmed. Lily Clark was a surprisingly composed child for a 7-year-old. With big blue eyes and blonde hair, Lily sometimes spoke like a little adult. Her artwork, in particular, was exceptional compared to children her age. "What are you planning to do at school today?" Diana asked as she placed the pancakes in front of Lily. "We have art class. The teacher said we can draw whatever we want this time." Lily's eyes sparkled. Her artistic talent had been evident since kindergarten. But Lily wasn't just good at drawing. She had a special sense about her. Michael used to call it Lily's intuition. She could see through people and sometimes perceive things that even adults missed. Thinking of her ex-husband's name, Diana felt complicated emotions arise. They had separated amicably a year ago. Michael was a talented architect and a kind husband, but he became so absorbed in his work that he neglected time with his family. During the last few months of their marriage, he was hardly ever home. "Mom, it's time to go to school," Lily's voice interrupted her thoughts. "I'm sorry, I was daydreaming." Diana smiled and picked up Lily's lunchbox. The suburban neighborhood where they lived in Boston was quiet and green. After the divorce, Diana had moved with Lily to this new house. For Diana, who had just started working as an interior designer, this house was a fresh beginning. "Good morning, Diana." "Lily." Walter Jenkins called out from the neighboring house. He was an IT company executive, always polite and kind to Diana since she became a single mother. "Good morning, Walter," Diana responded politely. "If you need anything, just let me know. Lawn mowing, snow shoveling, anything I can help with," he offered with a gentle smile. "Thank you, that's really helpful." Lily said nothing, just staring at Walter. Since they'd moved in, Lily had kept her distance from Walter. Even when Diana said, "Uncle Walter is a nice person," Lily would whisper, "Mom, there's something dark inside him." When they arrived at school, Lily gave Diana a goodbye kiss. "Remember, Dad Michael will pick you up after school." "Yes, I know. We're going for ice cream, right?" Lily replied happily. After the divorce, Michael still treasured his relationship with Lily. He made time to spend with her once a week, trying his best to fulfill his role as a father. Diana was grateful for that. In the car on her way to the office, Diana's phone rang. It was Michael. "Hey, Diana. Did you drop Lily off at school?" "Yes, just now. I told her you'll pick her up. She seems to remember your ice cream promise." Michael's laughter came through the phone. "Of course. I'm looking forward to it too. By the way, Diana." His tone changed. "How did your new project go yesterday?" Diana smiled. Michael was still attentive to her career. That was his way. Even after separating, they cared for each other as friends. "It's going well. The client seems satisfied with my design proposal." During work, Diana reflected on her conversation with Michael. They respected each other. Just not as husband and wife anymore. Sometimes she wondered if only he had been home more. But the past couldn't be changed. Now she needed to focus on building a new life for herself and Lily. In the evening, Diana finished work and headed to Lily's art class. Michael said he'd drop her off, but let me surprise them, she thought. Waiting outside the art class, she saw Lily and Michael appear, holding hands. Lily seemed to be having a pleasant conversation with her father, and seeing her smile warmed Diana's heart. "Mom!" Lily ran up to her. "Look at what I drew today." What she held out was a picture of 3 people laughing in a park. A father, mother, and daughter. How they used to be. Saturday morning, Diana sat on the living room sofa, basking in sunlight streaming through the large window. Coffee cup in hand, she flipped through an interior design magazine. To respect Michael and Lily's time together, she had gone home early yesterday without interrupting them. "Good morning, Mom." Lily bounded into the living room with a bright voice. She was still in her pajamas, holding a sketchbook. "Good morning, Lily. Did you sleep well?" Diana smiled, welcoming her daughter. "Yes." Lily jumped onto the sofa, sitting next to Diana. "Yesterday, after eating ice cream with Dad, we played in the park. Then Dad helped me draw pictures." "That sounds like fun." Diana gently stroked her daughter's hair. "Mom, look at this." Lily excitedly opened her sketchbook. "I drew it this morning." Diana received the sketchbook with a light laugh. Lily's creative drawings always surprised her and warmed her heart. But this time was different. Her smile froze. The sketchbook showed Diana's bed. In the dim light from the window, a figure of Diana sleeping. And standing next to the bed, a solid black silhouette. The shadow was clearly a man's figure, looking down at Diana. "Lily, what is this?" Diana's voice trembled. "He comes every night after you go to sleep," Lily whispered. Her big blue eyes showed a mix of fear and concern. Diana tried to hide her distress. "What do you mean? Is this drawn from your imagination?" Lily shook her head. "No. I see him. That person comes to watch you sleeping every night." A chill ran down Diana's spine. "Lily, that's probably just a scary dream. There's no such person in reality." "But, Mom," Lily said with a serious expression. "I saw him. He's really there." Diana took a deep breath. "All right. But don't worry. I think it's just your vivid imagination. You have a special sense, but sometimes that might mix up dreams and reality, right?" Lily thought for a moment, then nodded slightly. However, her expression showed she wasn't convinced. "Let's have breakfast." "I'll make pancakes today." Diana tried to change the subject. During breakfast, Diana pretended to be calm, but she couldn't stop thinking about Lily's drawing. Lily's seeing ability had surprised her several times before. Before her kindergarten teacher was diagnosed with cancer, Lily said she saw a gray cloud around that teacher. The night before Michael's grandmother passed away, Lily said, "There's an angel standing next to Grandma." But this was different. This involved their safety. That afternoon, while Lily was taking a nap, Diana called Michael. "Michael, I need to talk to you." Her voice was tense. "What's wrong? Is Lily okay?" Michael's voice mixed with concern. "Lily." Diana chose her words carefully. "She showed me a drawing this morning. A dark figure standing next to my bed. And she says this shadow comes every night after I fall asleep." On the other end of the phone, Michael gasped. "Has anything happened? Anything suspicious?" I don't know. But Lily seems to believe this person is real." After thinking for a moment, Michael said, "Maybe her imagination is becoming more active. But just to be safe, you should check the house security." "Yes, I'll do that," Diana agreed. "But you know how it is. Lily's sense is special. If she feels something, there must be a reason." Michael was silent. He couldn't ignore Lily's intuitive abilities either. Should I come over tonight and check around the house? Thank you, but I'll be fine. I'll see what I can do myself first. After hanging up, Diana checked all the windows and doors in the house. Everything was securely locked. But her anxiety didn't disappear. That night, before bed, Lily said again, "Mom, that person will come again." "It's okay, Lily. Mom is here. Nothing scary will happen." Diana hugged her daughter gently. After Lily fell asleep, Diana sat thinking in her own bedroom. If someone was really breaking in, who could it be? How were they getting in? The next morning, Lily was drawing another picture before school. "Mom, that person came yesterday too," she said quietly. "Why do you think so?" Diana asked calmly. "He told me. He said, 'I'm watching your mom.'" Lily's voice was small and mixed with fear. Diana's heart raced. "Lily, do you know who that person is?" Lily shook her head. "I don't know. But he's dark. Black inside, and scary." After taking her to school, Diana called Michael again. This time, she told him about Lily's new statement. "This doesn't sound like a joke." Michael's voice was serious. "I think you should report it to the police. But there's no evidence. Just Lily's drawings and words. Still, you should consult the police just in case. Or..." Michael chose his words carefully. "Maybe install surveillance cameras." Diana considered the suggestion for a moment. "That might be a good idea. We need to find out what's happening." That evening, Diana purchased a small surveillance camera and installed it in her bedroom. The camera was positioned discreetly and would automatically start recording when it detected movement. After putting Lily to bed, Diana returned to her own bedroom. Her heart was still pounding. If someone was really breaking in, tonight would prove it. If nothing happened, she could be reassured it was just Lily's imagination. She lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. Outside the window, autumn winds shook the trees, and shadows danced on the walls. Diana repeatedly looked around the room, confirming the camera's red light was working properly. It took a long time to fall asleep. Anxiety and fear dominated her mind. If someone was really watching her, who could it be? What did they want? In the early morning, Diana opened her heavy eyelids. She immediately got up to check the camera. With trembling hands, she began to review the footage. The first few hours showed only the quiet bedroom. Diana fast-forwarded. Then, around 2 a.m., her heart nearly stopped. With a slight noise, the bedroom door slowly opened. A dark figure crept into the room. The person, exactly as Lily had drawn, stood next to Diana's bed and didn't move. For about 10 minutes, the shadow just stared at her. Diana was paralyzed with fear as she stared at the screen. In the dim light, the person's face wasn't clearly visible. But it was obviously a real person. Her phone rang, making Diana jump. It was Michael. "How did it go? Did you find anything?" His voice sounded worried. Diana answered with a trembling voice. "Michael. Lily was right. Someone was there." "What?" Michael's voice rose with tension. "Call the police immediately. Save the footage and report it right away." Diana's hands were shaking as she backed up the video. "Michael, can you come over? Before Lily wakes up." "I'll be right there." About 20 minutes. Diana called the police. She tried to explain the situation in a calm voice but stumbled over her words from fear. "Someone broke into my bedroom. It's on the surveillance camera." The officer responded calmly. "We'll dispatch officers. Until then, make sure your doors are locked and stay in a safe place." When she went to Lily's room, her daughter was still asleep. Deanna quietly left the room. When she heard the front door open, she tensed, but relaxed when she heard Michael's voice. "Deanna, are you okay?" Michael embraced her. "Look at this video." Deanna handed him her smartphone. Michael watched the footage and his face changed. "This is..." He was speechless. "The police. They'll be here soon." When the police arrived, Lily was awake. Deanna left her with a neighbor friend and explained the situation to the police with Michael. "Unfortunately, we can't identify the person from this footage," one officer said. "It's too dark to see the face clearly, and there's no evidence of actual harm. But someone broke into my house." Deanna's voice shook with anger and fear. "Yes, that's certain. We have evidence of trespassing, but not enough to identify the intruder," the officer continued apologetically. "What we can do is increase patrols and advise you to strengthen your security measures." Deanna and Michael were disappointed with the police response. After they left, Michael said to Diana, "Why don't you and Lily come to my place? At least until this situation is resolved." Deanna considered. "Thank you, but I can't run away from here. This is our home." "I understand. Then, how about I stay here for a while?" Deanna felt full of gratitude. Even after the divorce, Michael was trying to protect her and Lily. "Thank you. But what about your work?" "Don't worry. I can do much of it remotely and only go to the office when necessary." That evening, with Michael's help, Diana strengthened the security throughout the house. They installed additional locks on windows and motion sensors in every room. When Lily returned from her friend's house, she was happy to learn that Michael would be staying. "Dad, you're sleeping over?" "Yes, for a while," Michael smiled. "Will you keep the dark man from coming?" Michael and Diana exchanged glances. "Yes, of course," Michael answered firmly. "I won't let anyone hurt you too." That night, Michael decided to sleep on the living room sofa. Diana and Lily slept together in her room. They spent an anxious night with all the lights on in the house. The next morning, relieved that nothing had happened, Diana sent Lily off to school. Michael worked remotely from home, continuing to investigate security systems. In the afternoon, when Lily returned from school, she was quieter than usual. "What's wrong, Lily?" Diana asked worriedly. "Mom, that person was outside my school," Lily said in an almost inaudible voice. Diana and Michael froze. "What?" "I saw him from the window." "That dark man was standing at the edge of the schoolyard," Lily said, trembling. "He was watching me." Diana shook with fear. "Lily, could you see his face?" Lily shook her head. "It was dark. But he knew my name." He asked, "Lily, where is your mom?" Michael acted immediately. "Let's call the school. We need to report a suspicious person." They called the school and explained the situation. The school promised to increase security. However, they said specific response would be difficult because the description of the suspicious person was vague. That night, Michael suggested to Diana, "Starting tomorrow, I'll take Lily to and from school. That way you can focus on work, and Lily will feel safer." Diana was full of gratitude. "Thank you. That really helps." However, in the middle of the night, there was a noise from Lily's room. Diana and Michael jumped up. "Lily!" Diana cried out and rushed to her daughter's room. Lily was trembling with fear. Her room's window was open. "Mom, that person was outside my window." Michael immediately closed the window and locked it. He looked outside but couldn't see anything in the darkness of night. "Was someone there?" "I don't know. But I heard a sound," Diana responded. Michael quickly went outside to investigate the surroundings. However, he found nothing. Returning to the house, he let out a big sigh. Tomorrow, let's install a more advanced security system. And add more surveillance cameras. For the next few days, they lived in tension. Michael kept his promise to take Lily to and from school, and Diana tried to finish work early to return home. At night, they kept all the lights on in the house and remained vigilant. One day, Diana was playing with Lily in the garden. Suddenly, Lily looked around anxiously. "What's wrong?" Diana asked. "That person always goes to the uncle's house," Lily said quietly. Diana was surprised. "What do you mean?" "The dark man comes to our house when he's here, but otherwise, he stays at the uncle's house." Diana thought. "Which uncle?" Lily pointed. In that direction was Walter Jenkins' house. That evening, Diana told Michael about Lily's words. "It might be Walter." Michael frowned. "The kind IT company president." "Yes. But think about it. He's always kind to us, lives alone." "It could just be a coincidence," Michael was cautious. "It's dangerous to suspect someone without evidence." But Lily's intuition has never been wrong before. Michael pondered. "All right, let's investigate. But carefully." The next day, Michael scouted around Walter's house. He found nothing suspicious. However, after Walter left for work, when Michael peered through a window into the interior, he saw something attached to the living room wall. It looked like photographs. Michael contacted Diana on his cell phone. "I might have found something. But I can't be sure." That night, as they were eating dinner, a sudden power outage occurred. The whole house went dark. A blackout. Diana was surprised. Michael looked out the window. "That's odd. The neighbors' houses still have electricity." The backup power didn't work either, and the entire house was enveloped in darkness. "Mom!" Lily's terrified voice echoed. Diana rushed toward her daughter's voice. Michael quickly turned on his phone's flashlight and followed. When they reached Lily's room, the little girl was shaking on her bed. "The window. He's outside the window." She pointed at the window with a trembling finger. Michael directed the light toward the window, but outside was darkness, and nothing could be seen. However, they heard something moving outside the window. "Diana, take Lily and hide in the closet," Michael commanded quietly but firmly. "I'll call the police. Keep your phone silent." Diana carried Lily and hurried to the walk-in closet in the master bedroom. While they hid, Michael was calling 911. "A suspicious person is trying to break into our house. There's been a power outage." In the closet, Diana held Lily tightly. "Stay quiet, it's going to be okay," she whispered in her daughter's ear. Lily was trembling with fear but followed her mother's instructions to stay quiet. Diana took out her phone and sent a text message to Michael. "We're in the closet. Lily is okay. What's the situation?" There was no reply from Michael. Minutes felt like eternity. Suddenly, there was a noise from inside the house. The sound of someone moving around. Diana's heart pounded fiercely. She sent another message to Michael. "Someone's inside." This time there was a reply. "Stay quiet. Police coming soon." The noises grew closer. The sound of doors opening and closing, footsteps coming up the stairs. Diana froze in terror. The footsteps approached the bedroom and eventually entered the room. "Diana," a low voice called out. "Hiding is useless. I know you well." It was Walter Jenkins' voice. Diana remained as quiet as her breathing would allow. Lily's small body trembled in her arms. I've been watching you, Diana. Walter's voice came closer. That man isn't worthy of you. He can't protect you. But I can. I can protect you. Diana switched her phone to recording mode. She needed evidence. You're a special woman. From the first time I saw you, I knew you were meant for me. Walter's voice was near the closet door. Your daughter is wonderful too. She has a special talent. I can tell. The doorknob began to turn. At that moment, a loud noise came from downstairs. Diana. Lily. Michael's voice echoed. Walter's footsteps stopped. He didn't move for a while. Then, his footsteps retreated. Diana held Lily tightly, closing her eyes as if in prayer. Downstairs, Michael and Walter were confronting each other. Walter. What are you doing? Michael's voice was filled with anger. Hello, Michael. Walter's voice was unnaturally calm. There seems to have been a power outage, and I was worried about Diana and Lily. I just came to check on them. How did you get in? The door was open, Walter answered simply. I thought it might be dangerous. Don't lie. Michael's voice became stern. You've been stalking them, haven't you? You're the one who's been sneaking into Diana's bedroom every night. In the closet, Diana switched her phone to video mode and began filming through the crack in the door. She wanted to ensure there would be evidence if anything happened. You misunderstand, Michael. Walter's voice was losing its calm. I was just protecting them from this dangerous world. The police will be here soon. You can explain it to them. Police. Walter's voice changed. You don't understand anything. She belongs to me. I found her. Suddenly, there was the sound of something falling and two men struggling. Diana was almost paralyzed with fear, but she summoned her courage to protect Lily. She opened the closet door just a little, continuing to record the scene downstairs with her phone. In the living room, Michael and Walter were fighting fiercely. Walter had unexpected strength and lunged at Michael. The coffee table fell over, and the sound of a vase breaking was heard. She belongs to me. Walter shouted. You don't deserve to make her happy. Michael utilized his college wrestling experience to somehow dodge Walter's attacks. Diana doesn't belong to anyone. She has the right to live her own life. At this point, the sound of sirens could be heard in the distance. Walter panicked and tried to escape, taking advantage of Michael's momentary distraction. However, Michael grabbed his leg, causing him to fall. When the police arrived and rushed into the house, Michael had Walter pinned to the floor. Walter was screaming like a madman. She belongs to me. I'm the one who'll protect her. That man abandoned her. The police officers restrained Walter and handcuffed him. Another officer searched the house to find Diana and Lily. Diana finally felt safe enough to leave the closet. Lily clung to her. Where's Michael? She asked fearfully. Your husband is safe. He's downstairs. When they went downstairs, Michael was talking with a police officer. There were bruise marks on his face, but he didn't seem to have any major injuries. When he saw Diana and Lily, his expression showed relief. Are you okay? Yes, Diana answered with a shaking voice. And you? No problem, Michael smiled. What matters is that you two are safe. The police secured Diana's recorded video and testimony as evidence. Walter was placed in a police vehicle and taken away. He was still shouting. She belongs to me. Only I understand her. One of the police officers explained to Diana and Michael, when we searched suspect Jenkins' residence, we found multiple secretly taken photographs and an abnormal amount of notes about you. It appears he had been stalking you for at least 6 months. 6 months. Diana trembled. Why didn't I notice? Stalkers can be very clever, the officer said gently. They often disguise themselves as well-meaning neighbors or friends. You had no particular reason to be suspicious. As dawn broke, the police officers left. The house was still a mess, but the source of fear had been removed. Diana, Lily, and Michael sat huddled together on the living room sofa. Thank you so much, Michael, Diana finally said. If you hadn't been here. Michael took her hand. It's okay now. You're safe. Lily sat between them, exhausted and fallen asleep. Diana gently stroked Lily's hair as she looked at Michael. What do we do now? Let's take it one step at a time, Michael answered quietly. First, making sure you can sleep peacefully. 3 months had passed since the incident. The winter's terror gradually faded, and their lives slowly began to take a new shape. Mom, look. I finished a new drawing. Lily called out cheerfully from the dining table. Diana came out from the kitchen and sat beside her daughter. Let me see. In Lily's sketchbook were 3 smiling figures. Mom, Dad, and Lily. The 3 of them stood hand in hand under a bright sun. The black shadow was no longer there. That's a beautiful picture, Diana stroked her daughter's hair. Dad will be happy to see it too. The front door opened, and Michael came in carrying shopping bags. He had now moved to an apartment nearby. Since the incident, he had been coming to Diana and Lily's house almost every day. I'm back, Michael said brightly. I bought ingredients for dinner. Dad, I drew a new picture. Lily excitedly ran to her father. Oh, let me see, Michael put down the bags and lifted his daughter. While they talked about Lily's drawing, Diana watched them with a smile. The days of terror were over, but they had also brought them a new beginning. After dinner, while Lily was taking a bath, Diana and Michael sat on the porch, looking up at the starry sky. How's the trial going? Michael asked quietly. According to the prosecutor, Walter was diagnosed with severe delusional disorder during his psychiatric evaluation. Diana clutched her coffee cup with both hands. He'll be in a treatment program in prison. We have to make sure he never threatens you again. I heard his words in court, Diana said with a trembling voice. He still claimed he was just protecting Diana. There was no sign of remorse at all. Michael took her hand. You don't have to think about him anymore. He'll be deprived of his freedom for a long time. And even after he's released, there will be a restraining order, and he'll be under surveillance. Diana nodded. Lily has started to sleep peacefully like before. That's my greatest joy. You're an amazing mother, Michael looked at her. How brave you were that day. You were the one. Diana's words caught in her throat. If you hadn't come. I'll never put you in danger again, Michael said with a determined voice. I've learned a lot. That there are things more important than work. They quietly looked up at the night sky. A shooting star briefly crossed the sky. Make a wish, Diana smiled. Michael looked into her eyes. It's already come true. A few weeks later, Michael moved even closer to Diana's house. He adjusted his work schedule to prioritize family time. Diana and Michael's relationship gradually changed from friendship to something new. One morning, Lily suddenly said at the breakfast table, "When Dad and Mom are together, the scary person doesn't come." Diana and Michael looked at each other in surprise. Then they burst out laughing. That's right, Michael gently patted Lily's head. We're strongest when we're together. A year later, they officially reconciled and took their first step as a new family. That night, Diana and Michael made a quiet promise under the starry sky. This time, let's be a real family in the truest sense.